This is the Art Beauty Podcast where we tell the real truth about the fake shit. I'm Amber, and today my fabulous and gorgeous co-host is Felicia Hershenhorn. She's the founder of Imaraïs Beauty, a true wonderful entrepreneur. She's got a crazy, inspiring story that I'm excited to talk about. And welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, so I want to just get right off the bat. Is Imaraïs, how do you pronounce this?
You pronounce it Imaraïs Beauty.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, where does the name come from?
Okay, so funny story. One of our co-founders is Sommer. Everybody knows who she is, mega star on all of the platforms, 40 million followers. And I really wanted to incorporate her name into the brand, but I didn't want it to be like Sommer skincare gummies, right? Like we wanted to level it up just a little bit. And so what we're really trying to do with our skincare gummies is revolutionize skincare and give people a new way of conceptualizing how they think about their skin and how they think about their skincare. So when I was coming up with the name, I realized that in Swahili and also in certain Arabic languages, the word Imar means chief or leader, and Rays means to empower and to enliven. And so when I realized that Rays had Ray's name in it, I was like, oh, this is it. So we put those two words together, and then we got Imaraïs Beauty.
Imaraïs Beauty. Okay. I love you because like right before I was like, how the heck do you pronounce this? And you were telling me that like in your company,
No one knows.
it's like, no one knows, right?
No one knows. It's so funny because when I was like floating the idea around to all my friends and my family, people were like, no one's going to know how to say that. And I'm like, I know, but that's like how, that's luxury, baby, right? Like I want people to be saying it. I want people to be asking about it. So I was like, I think I've actually hit the nose, like right on the mark. But we have people internally saying IMARAS, we have people saying like Imaraïs, and you know what? It's whatever you want. It's skincare for you. Call it whatever you want, as long as you know that it's like the white bottle with the black text.
There you go. Here's a funny story because I love that you said it's luxury. So I used to do, I used to be a fashion reporter way a bazillion years ago. And at Fashion Week every year, we would always interview Lubov Azria, who has BCBG is one of her lines. And also they own Hervé Léger. And I asked her one time, I'm like, Lubov, how do you pronounce Hervé? Like, what is the right way? And she's like, honestly, she's like, she's like, sometimes it's Hervé Léger, sometimes it's Hervé Léger. She's like, we don't know either. So I love that because I guess, hey, listen, once you're that luxurious, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. Make it your own, right? I'm like, I want people talking about it. So I was like, let's have this discussion. But yeah, it's Imaraïs, but Imaraïs, whatever you want, that's the way it is.
So let's talk a little bit about what Imaraïs is. You've got these plant-based gummies, and that is why, it's funny. I love that we've kind of, for so long in our adult world, it's like, don't eat candy, don't eat this, don't eat this. And now I feel like everything's a gummy. I get like gummy vitamin C, gummy sleep, gummy melatonin, gummy CBD. Why did you feel like you needed this sort of plant-based gummy? What was missing in the market?
Well, first of all, I mean, Imaraïs was really born out of my own necessity because I was a lawyer and I was working like 10 billion hours a week or a day, like everyone does, but especially lawyers. And I was spending so much money on my skincare. Like as I increased my spend on my skincare, the quality of my skin decreased. And I was like, something's going on. Right?
What were you using? Wait, I'm going to stop you in this. Like, what were the things that you were using? And I love that. I want to hit more on the story about how you went from law to beauty a little bit later on. But what were you using?
Everything, like anything you can think of. Honestly, my skin was horrible. There was no evenness. It was red. My complexion was horrible. I was dry in certain areas, oily in others.
Did you have would you say that you had sort of problematic skin prior, or was this really a response to working in law and being super stressed?
It was a response to being hyper stressed. And then I'm sure, like you've worked in beauty, as you get more stressed, your skin has a harder time recovering from the redness, from the hyperpigmentation, from the swelling, from the inflammation. So it was like a constant cycle of like getting stressed, the breakouts going away, but then my skin not being able to recover from the breakouts. And then so my skin was just like never getting better. It was just like, however good it was, that was the best it was going to be. And I was like, I can't have this. I mean, everyone's vain, but you want to feel good. You don't want to walk into a room and think everybody's looking at my skin, and
Totally.
nobody really is, like I'm sure you know this and I know this. I don't look at anybody else's skin. I might like glorify how amazing somebody's skin is, but if it's not as good as maybe somebody else's, I don't think about it. But
Right.
internally, you're thinking about it.
I mean, it's like going right back to your teenage first pimple, and you think that that is like basically a bullseye right on your face for people to pay attention to.
You're like walking around, you're like, my pimple, my pimple, my pimple, my pimple. Like, And so I was like, okay, something's not right here. Like I'm buying everything. I'm doing, never mind 5, 7, 10, 12 steps. I'm 20 steps routine, like 20 steps into my routine, and still things are getting worse. So I'm like, let me start peeling back some of the layers, because let me start removing certain steps, because I feel like maybe it's overkill. And I met my other partner now, who's my other partner in Imaraïs, and he has this fantastic history in the supplement space. And I was like, hey, are there any supplements for skincare? And he's like, there are, but they're all Me Too copycat, right? Like they're all biotin, they're all collagen, and they're not plant-based. And I'm a vegan. I've been vegan for 8 years. So I was like, shoot, I can't use biotin. I can't use any of those hair, skin, and nail gummies or products. I can't use any of the collagen.
Wait, why? Well, because the collagen isn't plant sourced.
It's not plant-based. It comes from like the hooves of cows.
Yeah. And what else is in there? What is biotin something that's not?
Yeah. Biotin comes from bovine materials mostly. Yeah. So none of it's plant-based. And I mean, now they have like simulations.
Sure.
And so, but that wasn't available to me when we started Imaraïs. And I was like, okay, I need to find something that I can actually use. I mean, I can't eat 1,000 peppers a day and get like all the vitamin C that I need. There has to be something easier, because I just don't, never mind time for 15-step skincare routines. I don't have time to eat 1,000 peppers.
Sure.
So that's when we started formulating, and we realized like there are some great ingredients in topical skincare products that can be used and are efficacious when you take them orally, but they're not being used. And we saw the white space and we're like, let's grab it, let's take it, let's fill it. And so basically 18 months later, we came out with Imaraïs Beauty. Well, we came out with Imaraïs really 12 months later, but launched about 18 months later. And here we are. And we're the first plant-based ingestible skincare brand that's PETA certified vegan, which means that nothing is or will ever be tested on animals or use any animal byproducts. And actually all of our ingredients are sourced in a unique cruelty-free harvesting process in North America, which for ingestible skincare and topical, but mostly ingestible, is so rare because a lot of these ingredients are not coming from North America, and the provenance of these ingredients is not clear, right? So you don't actually know where these ingredients are coming from, and consumers don't have an eye into the supply chain. And that's something that we were really keen on giving to consumers. And that's kind of how we got to Imaraïs, and why it took so long from concept to customer, because we spent a lot of time making sure that everything was the highest quality.
Wow. Now is everything sourced here? Is it all produced here as well?
Yes.
And manufactured here?
Yes. Manufactured in Toronto, Ontario, actually.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well done. So, you mentioned before that you have ingredients that you realize that there are certain ingredients we're finding in our skincare that can also be efficacious if we are taking them orally or ingesting them. What are some of those ingredients?
Number one is vitamin C.
Okay.
I mean, everybody knows you need vitamin C in your skincare routine. And that was one of the ingredients that I was like, I don't know, everybody's telling me that I need this, and it's making my face smell like a turkey sandwich. So something's not right. I can't keep smelling like a deli. Honestly, I know
that's so important though. Listen, I always say to people like in skincare, it doesn't matter if you're spending $1,000 on a serum or $5 on a serum. If you're not going to wear it, if you're not going to use it all the time, if you don't like the smell, the texture, it's a waste. And also don't use it. Find something else. Okay. So you were not liking this. No, I mean, there's a lot of other vitamin C's out there, but serum, but I get it. You were like,
had it pushed on me. Everyone's like, this is the one, this is the Mecca, like, this is the one you need. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy it. And I'm like, they're like, oh, this one has 5%, this one has 10%, try the 7.5%. I did it all.
Yeah. Not for
And
you.
wasn't working for me. So vitamin C is one of those ingredients that you absolutely need because it's an amazing antioxidant and really helps against oxidation, right? So when you walk out into the world, you're coming into contact with car exhaust. When you're doing your laundry, the exhaust from the pipes from the laundry, like that's bad for your skin. All these things that we don't think about can
Yeah.
affect your skin.
All of that sweet smelling perfume. And you're like, this smells so good. Really actually not great for you.
So, okay. So it's funny you say that because as somebody that's now, I mean, I've always been a beauty junkie, and like really into health and wellness and sort of like what's good, what's not. I try not to be militant about it because I have a vice, which is perfume. Like my perfume.
Oh, I know.
For me.
I hear you. Now, Kristen, when you're using perfume, do you spray it? Do you spray it here?
On my clothes. I've moved away from spraying it on my skin. Yeah.
So for anybody who's listening right now, and especially to all of the ladies out there, whether you go out and you're spraying it, and even doing like in the air in a walkthrough, spraying it on your neck and neck, there's a high alcohol concentration in a lot of this. And eventually it's going to have a very negative effect on your skin. So my solution, if you're somebody who loves to have it on the body and you must spray it on the back of your neck, right underneath the hairline, on the wrists, but not here. This area should be sacred.
And for anyone who you want to really smell the perfume, like they're going into the back of the neck anyway. So that's the
let them getting close, right?
Exactly. It's so funny. I mean, that's like my one thing where people are like, you literally tell me not to do this, not to do that. And you wear so much perfume, girl. I'm like, I know, but I sprayed on my clothes now. So
you know what? And we have to pick and choose. Listen, and you know what? Things also change. There might come a point in your life. So I used to love like fabric softener, going back to the laundry. I love that smell of clean laundry. And I never used to have a problem with it. As I've gotten older, my skin just can't handle it. So I get really itchy, or it's really it's just irritating to my skin. Some of that could be hormonal, which is what I think it is. But back to saying like, you got to pick and choose in life.
You have to choose your battles, but
like I'm never giving up sugar. I'm just never, I know how bad it is for you. I know it's awful for your skin. Not going to happen.
Well,
or carbs. I wish I could do a no carb diet, but
no, I can't. I don't understand. It's like, first of all, your brain runs on glucose anyway. So like you shouldn't really be eating no carbs anyway. That's like my 2 cents. But people that are like, oh, I didn't eat breakfast today. I'm like, babe, I've eaten breakfast. I've eaten my post-breakfast snack. I've eaten my post-lunch snack or my pre-lunch snack, my lunch, my post-lunch snack. Like I'm always thinking about what I'm eating next.
Oh yeah.
Gets through my day.
Honestly, I'll be sitting at a meal and be like asking my husband as I'm like shoveling food, like, what are we doing next? What's our dinner tomorrow? And he's like, babe, we haven't even like live in the moment.
I can't.
Yeah.
Food's just like one of those things. First of all, it's comforting and it's like soul enhancing or whatever, and mood thing. But it's also one of those things where you can connect with people because it's like, oh, can I try that? Oh, you have to try this. And it's like a whole conversation starter. So, I mean, that's number 2, why I got into what I did, because I love food so much. And like, if there is a way for me to get more like satiety into my day, or that like yum yum feeling into my day, I'm always there. So that's why we made it into a gummy, because number 1, people want excuses for their bad habits. Candy. Right. I mean, that's why if you look at other brands that have been so successful in the past, number 1, Smart Sweets, what she did was basically take like everybody's vice and made it a healthier alternative.
I've never heard of Smart Sweets. Oh my God.
First of all, the woman who started Smart Sweets, she's from Vancouver. She's fantastic. And it's basically like no sugar or 3 grams of sugar, candy for like the entire bag. When I send you, I know there was somebody else on the email list, and I'm going to send you guys more gummies, but I'll also throw in some Smart Sweets.
I've never even heard of this. I'll die. You know what I did recently? I swapped, like any night dessert for dried figs, organic Turkish figs, because to me, it's like kind of like if I eat 2 of them, it's kind of like almost having a cookie. They're so good. I get them on Amazon. No sugar added and no sulfur. I can't deal with anything with sulfur. So I love them.
I'm going to get those, but see, figs I love, but I really like them like ripe and like not dried, dates.
Oh, dates is your
Oh
thing.
my God.
And it's just good for like Helps all the
Okay,
things. Keep
moving.
on moving. Keep on
Yeah.
moving. So, okay, back to your fabulous gummies.
Yes.
We've got vitamin C in them. I love, but this is what we do, girl. We just sit and we chat and we kind of go off in all directions. Um, but in regards to your gummies,
Right.
we've got vitamin C, which, by the way, anybody listening right now, you have to ingest vitamin C. Your body, it's one of those vitamins. It's an important antioxidant, and we don't make it, so you need to get it through your food. So in addition to vitamin C,
Vitamin C, marine algae, and that's marine algae is similar to vitamin C. It's an omega-3 fatty acid, an essential fatty acid, which is the same thing. Like your body actually, you need to supplement with it,
okay,
which is called essential because you need to get it through supplementation and through your diet, or through, I mean, there's other ways as well, of course. And if you look at any of sort of like the hip and very popular skincare brands, a lot of them use marine algae because it's amazing for hydrating the skin. Like it's absolutely fantastic for hydrating the skin and hydrating your cellular membrane. So
yeah,
look at,
Alginist. We've had them on the show before. They're a big one with that. And then Lemaire was based on.
they built the whole brand on it.
Where do you harvest when you talk about cruelty-free harvesting? What is that process?
So it's different for every ingredient, of course. For algae in particular, we get our algae from the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
And our partner is a company called Algorithm. And so they specialize in harvesting marine algae. And actually, Ritual, another vitamin company, another supplement company, uses Algorithm as well. And so one of the things that we're really keen on in our company is being transparent with consumers on where we get these ingredients. And so we do get our marine algae from Algorithm. And basically what they do, it's this whole process where basically they take the algae that comes from the sea, and then they grow it and they don't harm any fish in the process of harvesting.
Or
So
disrupt the ecosystem there. Got it. Okay.
exactly. So it's very safe for marine life, and it's amazing for your skin when you put it on your skin. One of the things about marine algae that I love is that number one, you need it. You absolutely need it as a dietary, like as an omega-3 fatty acid. But number two, your cells in your skin. This is something that people don't know. This is something that I didn't know. And this goes back to sort of why I started this. When you're overusing products, you're going to break down your skin's natural barrier, right? Your skin barrier. And so everybody had their own little experience with certain exfoliants. I won't say the brand name. And I'm sure, you would like literally burn off your skin and you're like, it's working. And now we've myth busted that. And we're like, oh, no, honey. You were just like irritating your skin until it was like crying out.
Wait, which one? Wait, hang on a second. Not the peach pit one. No, apricot pit one.
Apricot. The apricot.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we loved it. I love that scrub, but God, causing micro tears. And yes, not good for the skin.
I never forget. I think I bought all of the eyeliner at Shoppers Drug Mart, which is basically like CVS in Canada. And I used to buy all of the apricot scrub and I would just like scrub it off my eyes and off my skin. I would like look like a vampire. And I was like, this is skincare, baby, in 2004. Like, this is it.
Oh, in 2004, I feel like for me, it was like 1994, but moving right along there. Okay. So yeah, so not good for your skin.
Not good for your skin. And so when you do break down your skin's natural barrier, when you break down your skin barrier, what happens is that your skin can't actually hold on to moisture, right? So it's like, okay, my skin's dry. I'm going to lather on all the moisturizer that I possibly can. But if you've broken down your skin barrier and your skin can't actually hold on to moisturizer, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. So what we look to do is get cellular and not surface. So thinking cellular and not thinking surface. So we're actually feeding our cellular membranes so that your skin barrier is full, so that your skin barrier is hydrated, so that when you do go to put on your moisturizer, when you do go to put on your serum, your skin is actually taking it in and it allows those products to do what they need to do.
Okay.
So that's why our product is so magical.
Got it. Have you heard of like this liposomal technology for vitamins?
Where they like hide like a hydrofacial type thing?
No. It's like we had a nutritionist on recently, Jennifer Hanway, and she was talking about, all vitamins are not created equal, all supplements are not created equal, but she was recommending liposomal vitamin C. So basically the technology, the delivery, you ingest it, but it's the technology allows delivery of this vitamin C directly into the cell, not just in the bloodstream.
That's interesting because, I mean, the way that this works, the way that normal supplementation works is through a process called cellular uptake, right? So you get this systemic delivery of nutrients to the body, to the skin cells. So the ability to actually like target certain skin cells is something that's fantastic, and something that I'm definitely going to look into, especially with our vitamin C. But I'm not sure where that vitamin C comes from, right? Because, for
Mm,
example, we get vitamin C from fruits, from vegetables, but there's vitamin C that's synthetic. There's vitamin C that comes from corn. And not all those vitamin C's are created equal, like she said. So I would be interested to know the source of that vitamin C.
interesting. You know, when you're talking about this and you're talking about like things like marine algae, vitamin C from corn, which I had no idea that that was where
A
corn has
lot.
vitamin C. All right. I guess because it's the yellow. So what about people with allergies, right? So if you've got fish allergies, are these things that to be aware of?
100%. I mean, like anything that you're taking in your body or putting on your body, you always want to read the ingredient list.
Yeah.
Uh, and one of the amazing things about our product is that there's 14 ingredients, and I guarantee you can read, pronounce, and recognize every single one. It's beta carotene, right? Comes from carrot juice. It's black
Yeah.
carrot juice. It's carnauba wax. It's coconut oil.
Mm,
It's vitamin C. Like these are things that you know and you recognize. But if you do have allergies, let's say to fish, this is a fish-free alternative to omega-3. So, I mean, of course, try it out. Of course, discuss with your healthcare practitioner if you do have any like real hard-hitting concerns, but this is a
sure.
free alternative. So, number one, it's fish free. Number two, when you take vitamins, not vitamin C, rather, when you take marine algae or or omega-3s, what's the number one complaint that people have? It's those fish burps. And
Yeah.
that's beautiful and that's not sexy. Nobody wants that. Because ours is fish free, you don't get any of that.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So, let's kind of take a little bit of a diversion from the product itself. And I'm really curious, how did you go from law to beauty? Were you just,
I mean, it was surprising to me, but then it also felt so natural. So, like I said, I was always a beauty junkie. Like I was always putting on, I was wearing makeup way before anybody else was wearing makeup. I was, when friends were going out to clubs, I was doing all their makeup to go to the clubs, and then I was staying home like
nice?
watching YouTube videos on how to level up my makeup for next time, because I didn't want my makeup to ruin. I just wanted to put it on, take my picture, and go to sleep. And anyway, I was working in law, and I worked as general counsel at a real estate development firm here in Toronto. I was the only female and the youngest female to run the GC wing of the real estate development firm. And I got to a point in my career very quickly that a lot of people work a lot of years to get to. And I was feeling a little bit stale. And I wanted something else, and I wanted something different. And then when I was sort of researching and concocting, basically like in my kitchen with my partner, we have pictures of us like trying all these ingredients and doing all these things. It hit me one day that actually this is what I meant to do, right? Like this is
Right.
my next challenge. And the business really took off, and really took off very quickly. And there came a point when I couldn't balance the two, right? Like I couldn't still be the lawyer
Yeah.
and come home and do this at night, because I was now not only waking up at like 6 a.m. to do a little bit of work on Imaraïs before, my real job, and then come home and continue working on Imaraïs. It was like I was waking up at 4, I was waking up at 3. So there came a point where I was like, okay, you need to sleep. So I decided to sort of like wind up my position as legal counsel and really explore the opportunity of, running the company.
I mean, why I was so impressed with this is, and why I think it's such a brave, incredible thing is that, in addition to college, like law school is no joke. It's a time commitment, it's a financial commitment.
Mhm.
And I feel like you also, it's one of those things that I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can walk away from it and you can come back, but then you're going to have to recertify, correct?
It depends. It's
Okay.
just yeah. I mean, so how it works in Ontario is, of course, you're a member of the bar. Every year you do your continuing education
Hmm.
and pay your fees. That's like one of the biggest things that they keep reminding you. They rarely send any emails about the continuing education, but they send
It's,
lots about paying your
uh-huh.
fees.
Yeah.
Um, and so if you don't pay your fees, you're not disbarred, but you're no longer a member of the bar. And so to re-up, you basically just have to come up to date with your continuing education, and also pay your fees.
So, so,
Um,
so it's something that you could theoretically walk away from and come back to. Okay.
Yeah.
but when you're in a law firm, and listen, I love how I'm talking like I know this. I watch Suits, so I think I know everything there is to know about law, FYI. Also, if you're having a medical emergency, I've watched Grey's Anatomy for like 8,000 years. So just, I gotcha.
You're like
But
defib or whatever, right?
yeah. You're an AFib, calling the crash cart. So in terms of like the law though, it's a very and I have friends who are lawyers. It is a very competitive industry. So to walk away from something where you had risen, it sounds like, coming to a place where other people were literally clawing at to be, really brave.
My family was like, "Are you sure?" Especially because I was never the person that was supposed to start a company. Like I was always very book smart, but like street smart, I had no idea what I was doing. And it was always a joke. My parents would say, "Felicia, you're always going to work for someone, like crossing their T's, dotting their I's, but you'll never be the boss." And so a part of me was kind of like, "I'm going to show you that I can do this." So I was scared and everyone around me thought I was crazy, but I think now they're very happy and they, they're like, "Oh, I always knew you could do it." And I was like, "Okay."
Sure. So so you and your partner meet, he's in supplements, you have this phenomenal idea, you're in the kitchen cooking this up. And at what point are you like, we found the formulation? Did you go to a lab to kind of help with that? Okay. And
Yeah.
so once you have that, how did you get then involved with Sommer?
So my partner and I, Erin, like you said, we were basically like in our kitchen, sort of like coming up with stuff, going to Sephora, seeing what was on the back of the labels, trying out different things, trying out different skin supplements that were out on the market, seeing how they performed, like literally running our own little clinicals basically on ourselves. We approached a lab, a fantastic lab. They're like our thought partner, and they really help us with sort of developing out our ideas into what can be a commercial consumer good product. We get all that settled. And then as we're sort of going through the motions and going through branding and brand positioning and figuring out what's going to give us that brand equity, we realize what's really important is lending credibility to the brand. So of course we have myself, an attorney. We also have my partner, Erin, who again, fantastic history in supplements, knows definitely what he's talking about and what works and what doesn't. But then we're like, we need somebody who's front facing.
Mm-hmm.
Who can talk to consumers in a way that they want to be spoken to, and who can deliver messages to consumers on a medium that consumers are used to being spoken to on. And what is that? That's social platforms. That's TikTok, that's Instagram. And so we basically, we knew who Sommer was, of course. You can't go on Instagram and not know who she is. And one thing that I loved about her is that she's not a typical influencer. And I would even really hesitate to call her an influencer because she's really a thought leader in her niche, right? Like she's always doing something that's cutting edge and she's always doing something ahead of the curve. And so we wanted somebody like that. Number one, we also wanted somebody who wasn't just throwing products at their audience. And if you go on Sommer's account, really the only product that you see is Imaraïs Beauty, because she doesn't just push product for money. That's not who she is. She really gives her soul, herself, and her whole essence to her audience, which is why people follow her. And so essentially how it worked was we sent what basically was like a DM to her, and we're like, "Hey, we have this like super crazy idea. You'll probably never see this. You probably won't ever answer this." And we got in touch with the right people, and basically she did. We sent her a beta sample. And she's very particular about the things that she tries, the things that she likes and doesn't like. And she was like, "I like this. I don't like that. I'll get involved if you change like X, Y, Z." So we made those changes. And then basically from that moment, she was involved and she's like, I don't just want to be the face. I want to be your partner.
Wow.
So that's how it worked out. And she, you can look at certain brands and think, okay, this person is just, being paid to play. But when you look at our brand, it really is Sommer's brand. Like her stand up with all of the really innovative ideas.
Oh, I lost you for a minute. Wait, go back. She said her
blood, sweat, and tears is all over
okay,
this.
got it. Okay.
She's the one that really, she basically gives us ideas. She's like, "I love this. This is something that's super cutting edge. This is something that's super innovative, and I need this to be executed on." And then we get to work and execute for her, because she just comes up with like these fantastic ideas. And honestly, she's been wonderful to work with.
So now where can people get this product if they're into see, here we go. Imaraïs Beauty.
So right now you can shop at imaraisbeauty.com. IMARAIS beauty.com, or you can find us at Saks. We just launched in Saks.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you so much. We're very excited about that. So Saks.com, Imaraïs Beauty, and we'll actually be, I mean, we'll tell you because we'll already be out by that time. We'll be in their Palm Beach store soon as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so very exciting. And we're also on Verishop. So you can find us on Verishop. And we have a bunch of other retailers coming out, some in Canada, which we're very excited about because that's kind of our home front.
Sure.
And then other big ones in the States, which I can't talk about yet, but hopefully when this comes out, I can like tag it in the
Amazing. And Imaraïs Beauty has a has its own social platform.
Yeah.
And then of course Sommer will, I'm sure, be letting us know. Really quickly before I let you go, you know, prior to this, we were talking a little bit about the supply chain issues that we're hearing so much about. You got on, you were like, I'm dealing with X, Y, and Z. We don't need to go into the particulars, but just because we are going into the holiday season and we're, you know, listen, I worked in the news, so sometimes I know that we can, you know, sensationalize that. Is it real? Is it things that we need to be like considering? And yeah, it is.
Yes, it is the realest of the real. Let me tell you, we only have one little part of our product that is not manufactured locally. And we're very transparent about it. It's actually our packaging.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that we get overseas and we bring it over. And when I tell you that it's insane to get, first of all, placement on, you know, like in factories in order for people to like work on your product is crazy. You're competing with everybody else. And then to get your product over is even worse. Like it was on the front page of CNN yesterday that goods are just basically sitting in containers, not moving.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I think consumers should be conscious about. But another thing is this is actually giving us as consumers and also as brands the ability to pause and think, should we be offloading all of our, you know, products overseas? Like, is there a way for us to produce and be innovative locally? So that's what we're doing with our brand. Like I said, like 10, not even 10%, like I would say like one little part of our product comes from overseas. And we've already started the innovation process in order to make sure that we can develop the entire thing locally. And also it should give consumers pause to be like, do I really want to support brands that get the entire part of their product done overseas, or can I support the local brands, right?
And I think more and more people, you know, consumers are really starting to care about that. We want things that are made either, you know, locally, like you said, North American continent. I know you're based in Canada. A lot of the stuff that's made in the USA, made in North America. It's important. We got to keep the jobs, you know, home.
100%. And that's why for us, we were like, we are manufacturing locally, domestically, getting all of our ingredients local and domestic. So we can guarantee with stamp of approval where things come from, the efficacy and the provenance of the ingredients. And so I urge consumers to shop locally, to shop consciously, and to shop ethically as well.
Amazing. I want to thank you so much, Felicia, for being on. I hope you had I had a great time chatting with you.
Oh, I know. I was like, has it been like 30 minutes already? Like,
I mean, a little bit longer. I feel like we've almost been on for 45. So, again, if people want to know more about you, they want to know, purchase the product.
Oh my.
Imaraïs Beauty, IMARAS Beauty, IMARAIS.
Yes.
Beauty.com.
Yes. And same socials, all Imaraïs Beauty. And if you want to find me, I'm just Miss Felicia on Instagram, but there's nothing really there. It's all recycled Imaraïs posts, so I would definitely just go there.
I just realized something really catty. At the end of this, I get to go, bye, Felicia.
Sorry. You know, it's so funny. Everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm like, do it. Let me give you that.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being on. If people at home, if you're listening and you've got questions you want me to pass on to Felicia, who clearly knows so much about this space, you can always email us, hello@artbeautypodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube at Art Beauty Podcast. And in another catty thing, I will tell you that we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.